When it comes to growing potatoes, there's something deeply satisfying about digging into the soil and unearthing a bumper harvest of plump, healthy tubers. Over the years, I've learned that getting huge potato yields isn't just about luck. It's about having the right approach, using simple yet effective techniques, and being consistent with care. If you're ready to grow potatoes that will leave your neighbors impressed, let me walk you through the steps I swear by to achieve amazing harvests. And hey, while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to Botanical Bliss for more gardening tips and tricks to transform your growing game. A great harvest begins with great seed potatoes. It's tempting to use leftover spuds from the grocery store, but trust me, certified seed potatoes are the way to go. They're disease-free, designed for planting, and have been bred to produce reliable yields. Look for varieties that thrive in your climate. I personally love Yukon Gold for its buttery flavor and versatility in the kitchen, but there's a world of options out there. When preparing your seed potatoes, I always cut larger ones into chunks with at least 2 eyes on each piece and let them cure for a day or two to prevent rotting. This small step can make a big difference. If there's one thing I never skimp on, it's soil preparation. Potatoes are heavy feeders, and they need loose, nutrient-rich soil to spread their tubers freely. Before planting, I mix compost or well-rotted manure into the soil to provide a steady supply of nutrients throughout the growing season. A little bone meal doesn't hurt either. It's packed with phosphorus, which is key for tuber development. For those of you gardening in clay-heavy soil, don't worry. Adding sand or peat moss can help improve drainage and make the soil more potato-friendly. Potatoes hate waterlogged conditions, so getting this right is critical. Timing is everything. I usually plant potatoes as soon as the soil warms up in early spring, but not before the last frost. Potatoes thrive in cool weather but don't like freezing temperatures. Spacing is another thing I'm careful about. I plant each seed potato chunk about 12 inches apart in rows, with the eyes facing upward. I also bury them about 4 inches deep, covering them with loose soil. This allows the plants to grow strong roots and gives the tubers plenty of room to expand. Potatoes need steady moisture, but overwatering can be disastrous. I make sure to keep the soil evenly moist, especially when the plants are flowering. That's when the tubers are forming. A deep watering once or twice a week works well for me, depending on the weather. One tip I've learned is to water early in the morning. This way, any moisture on the leaves has time to evaporate before nightfall, reducing the risk of fungal diseases like blight. Hilling is one of the most important steps for maximizing potato harvests. As the plants grow, I pile up soil around the base of the stems to create mounds. This not only prevents sunlight from reaching the developing tubers, which can turn them green and toxic, but also encourages the plants to produce more tubers. I usually hill my potatoes 2 or 3 times during the growing season, adding soil or mulch each time the plants grow another 6 inches. It's a bit of extra effort, but the results are absolutely worth it. Potatoes are hungry plants, so I make sure to give them the nutrients they need to thrive. I usually start with a balanced organic fertilizer when planting and switch to a high potassium fertilizer as the plants mature. Potassium helps with tuber development, ensuring those potatoes grow big and healthy. I'm also careful not to overdo the nitrogen. While nitrogen is great for leafy growth, too much of it can result in lush, green plants with disappointing yields. Finding the right balance is key. Nothing's worse than watching your potato plants suffer from pests or diseases. Over the years, I've developed a few strategies to keep my crop safe. First, I practice crop rotation. Growing potatoes in the same spot year after year can lead to a buildup of pests like wireworms or diseases like potato blight. By rotating where I plant, I keep these problems at bay. Second, I inspect my plants regularly. Early detection is crucial for stopping problems before they spread. If I spot aphids or potato beetles, I pick them off by hand or use organic insecticides. For fungal issues, I rely on proper spacing and airflow to keep the plants dry and disease-free. Knowing when to harvest is just as important as knowing how to plant. I wait until the potato plants have flowered and the foliage begins to yellow and die back. This signals that the tubers have reached their full size. When harvesting, I'm careful to dig gently with a garden fork, avoiding any damage to the tubers. Damaged potatoes don't store well, so I make sure to handle them with care. After harvesting, I let my potatoes cure in a cool, dark place for a week or two. This helps toughen up their skins and prepares them for long-term storage. Once cured, I store them in a well-ventilated space that stays cool but doesn't freeze. Proper storage not only preserves the potatoes but also ensures I have homegrown spuds to enjoy for months. Growing huge potato yields isn't just about the techniques, it's also about paying attention to your plants. I make it a habit to observe how they're growing and adjust my care routine as needed. Every season brings its own challenges, but with a little effort and patience, the results are always rewarding. If you're inspired to try these methods, I'd love to hear about your success. Share your experiences in the comments and let's swap gardening tips. Don't forget to subscribe to Botanical Bliss for more insights into growing your dream garden. Happy planting!